The EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair lived her dream at WrestleMania, showing the world what she can do and giving us that feel-good WrestleMania moment. In today's video, we're going to be looking at some facts about the strongest, the toughest, the roughest, the quickest, the greatest, the BEST of the WWE. She was scouted by the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Mark Henry has completely changed my life. Those are the words that came from Belair herself. It all started back when Henry dropped a comment on one of Belair's social media accounts. He then went on to message her asking if she'd ever considered being in the WWE. He obviously saw attributes of her that could be good in the WWE, and it shows that Henry's got a good eye for talent straight away. He said to her that he could get her a WWE tryout. Henry then continued to play a big role in Belair's career, supporting her over on NXT and giving her key advice which would go on to help her in the future and help her progress into the superstar she is today.
And what other kind of feedback do you get from Marcus? Do you ever give anything? Obviously, he's proud of you, but did you ever learn anything specific from him?
I remember when I first got into NXT, he came down and he was in the Performance Center, and this was before I ever even had my first match. It was probably within the first couple months I was there. And at the time, I didn't really understand what he was saying because I think my mind was just too inexperienced, but his words always recycled in my head. And I remember him asking me, "Who do you want to be?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, who do you want to be in WWE? And I was like, well, and I just gave like this generic answer of what I thought I was supposed to say. I didn't really know what I was supposed to say. And I remember him telling me, you have to think about what do you want to portray when you're in the ring. He told me that when they see you, they know exactly who you are. They know exactly what you're about without you having to open your mouth.
I can only imagine how proud Mark Henry is because he scouted her, he helped develop her, and you can only imagine it's like a proud father situation where Henry has seen her development, he scouted her, he's watched her grow up, and now he's seeing her in the main event at WrestleMania. It must have been an unreal moment for Mark Henry. She creates her own ring gear. Now, one thing that always strikes me about Belair is how amazing and unique her ring gear is. From her comic-themed attire at the Royal Rumble, which I thought was absolutely awesome, to the sequin-filled attire she wore for a big moment at WrestleMania, which is something that she will always remember. So that's going to be an attire that she always remembers. She always looks back on as the one she wore for a special moment. Bianca said, "My Royal Rumble gear, I didn't really make it until the night before, so I feel like I'll probably end up making like 10 different gears before WrestleMania, and then the night before it'll come to me and I'll be up all night making my gear the night before." Probably not ideal, Bianca, you probably should be getting sleep, but she makes her gear and she puts her all into it, and like I said, for the historic moments it's awesome because it's her own work, and for those moments that are special, especially the WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble moments, it's good to know that the attire that she's wearing is her own designs and she puts the effort in. She has battled depression and bulimia. When Belair started high school, she struggled with the eating disorder known as bulimia. Now, bulimia is where a person will eat a lot of food in a short amount of time and they then make themselves sick to stop themselves gaining weight. Now, this is like obviously a mental illness, and there's a lot of people that struggle with this, so Bianca is representing for all of them by putting this story out. Bianca said, "I was always seen as the bigger girl in track. I was always very muscular, just naturally muscular." She then went on to say all the coaches kept talking about her weight, so she became obsessed and then started to throw up her food, with her parents totally oblivious to this. Obviously, it's a very easy illness to hide, especially if the parents aren't focused and they've got their own lives, they're working. It's not on them at all. It's obviously the person who's got it is doing their best to hide it. When Belair got her full scholarship to the University of South Carolina, she started partying and eating, maybe enjoying herself a bit too much for her athlete. Her coach inevitably came down hard on her and told her to go back to the girl you were in high school. This led to Belair throwing up her food again as she had a binge eating disorder. She would eat because she was upset, and in her own words, eating my feelings away. I would sit there, I'd be sad, and I'd eat to eat my feelings away. Bianca eventually ended up at a psychiatric hospital. It was at that moment where she looked at her parents and thought, I'm a failure. And then she knew she had to beat it. As soon as she saw her parents' face and she knew what it was doing to them, and she didn't want to bring shame on them, and she wanted to make them proud. So she said, I'm going to beat this. And now look where she is. She main evented WrestleMania. She's the champ. She's the EST of the WWE. She's come a long way from that eating disorder. And that's a great story to anyone who's struggling with that kind of illness. She comes from a family of trailblazers. Now, it seems like it's in Bianca's blood to create history and do big things. I say this because her great-grandfather, Edward N. Toole, was the first licensed African-American electrician in North Carolina. Her grandfather has a master's in organic chemistry and a PhD in biochemistry. This is no doubt the fuel that Bianca needs to keep her motivated to create history. Her family's got that historic background, and she just wants to be another one added to that list in the Belair family. She has always been very talented in many different sports. Now, the first thing that you will notice about Belair, apart from her hair, when she steps in the ring, is she's very athletic. She flies around the ring with ease, and that's because sports and athletics has always come very easy to this woman. She's always been very athletic and very talented in sport. Now, as we already mentioned, Belair was heavily involved in track, competing in the hurdles. There's some very eye-opening clips online of Belair just blitzing the competition, and she's out front, just head and shoulders above her peers.
It's going to be Bianca Belair, Austin East, Knoxville, Tennessee. She was the 100-meter hurdle champion. Here comes Bianca Belair. And 6, that's going to be Asia. Frazier.
She also had started gymnastics by the age of 5. She played basketball, soccer, and even been involved in cheerleading. Bianca also entered CrossFit and powerlifting competitions. Obviously, naturally talented athlete, as you can see in the ring. WWE today is perfect for her because of the fact she's got the whole package, and that's one thing Mark Henry must have seen in her when he scouted her out. She suffers with slipping rib syndrome. Now, I know you're all listening to this like, Jord, what is slipping rib syndrome? I had to research it because I had absolutely no clue. Whilst being a CrossFit athlete, Belair suffered from the painful slipping rib syndrome. This is basically when the cartilage on your lower ribs slips and moves, leading to chest pain and upper abdomen pain. Clearly not ideal for an athlete. Belair has learned though to adapt over the years. She said she's found ways to maintain it so that it doesn't affect her performance in the ring. And if it does hurt, she's found ways of dealing with the pain, which is obviously ideal. She knows what moves not to do as well. So when she's in the ring, she knows how to not make it slip. And I'm presuming if the rib slips out, she kind of knows how to put it back in. And she would know now from experience. So at least it's not stopping her and affecting her in ring anymore. She is the mother of 2 stepchildren. Now, as you are probably all aware, Belair is married to fellow WWE superstar and one half of the Street Profits, Montez Ford. Now, they met and hit it off instantly when they both began training at the Performance Center. Their first date was actually back in 2015, where apparently Montez took her to see the Blue Man Group, and they ended up talking in the parking lot for hours and just clicking straight away. They became engaged in 2017 and married the following year in 2018, making her the stepmother of Ford's 2 children from a previous relationship. I believe it's 1 boy and 1 little girl. This shows the type of person Belair is, like taking on 2 children and being a great stepmother to them. It just shows, again, the role model that Belair is. And obviously there's going to be a lot of young girls looking up to Belair. Now she's champ and now she's at the top of the women's division. You're naturally going to get a lot of the young girls looking up to her. So this is great. It's great to have a role model and someone who these girls can look up to because these are their idols. And like as we've seen, the Montez Ford and the Bianca Belair relationship on screen has been absolutely fantastic. If you look at like the way he lifted her up in the ring at WrestleMania, it's just a great feel-good moment, and you can just see they're just smiling constantly, and you can just tell with them two, they were just meant to be together. They're a great couple. Montez played a big role in Bianca having that long braid. Now, the first thing that most people notice about Belair is her hair, obviously, her long braid that can be used as a weapon. Sorry, Sasha, with her big welt across her chest from it. The whole arena heard that, as well as all the houses outside must have heard that, but that was a massive slap at WrestleMania. Can be used against her, though, as we saw in that match where Sasha kept pulling hold of the hair and using it to her advantage for leverage. That can also be used against her, so it's got its pluses and it's got its downfalls. Now, Montez played a huge part in the development of this whole situation. Bianca goes on to say, well, at first, the idea was to have just a braid to stand out, to be different. My husband helped me a lot with that. He really told me how important it is for you to stand out and to be unique. And so I looked at what every single girl was doing in the locker room and on the roster. And I was like, I'm going the opposite way. And we all know, like I said, what that hair can do. Like she said she was going the opposite way. That basically means it's probably going back to what Mark Henry said about her as well. It's that kind of, I want people to know who I am. And as I just said, without even opening her mouth, people know Bianca from that long braid, from the long hair, her attitude when she comes down to the ring. She's always smiling. And Bianca's turned into one of my personal favourite women on the roster. I want to thank every single person for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to let me know what you think of Bianca Belair in the comments down below. Let me know what you believe the future holds for the EST of the WWE. I have been Jordan95 Wrestling, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.